Greetings and welcome to this Tarot and Pokemoncy reading. I am Sachi the Seer. Today we are going to be reading for 5 different soul groups based on different packs of Pokemon cards. So I typically don't get repackaged items like this. However, when I saw it at the store, it told me that I was meant to do readings with it, so that is what I'm going to do. I am going to pull some cards for a deck I made of different type energy for each of the 5 soul groups so that you can determine which one is for you. If you feel called to watch multiple, that's also okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you want to just choose by your number, if you feel called to a specific number, that's totally fine, and the timestamps are in the description below. But for each of these packs, I'm going to choose some Pokemon types so that you can determine if the reading is for you. After I choose the typing, we will pull a tarot card for each one to see some of the general energy of what's happening. So for number 1, we have fire. So if you are a fire type trainer or a fire type astrologically, this may apply to you. This can also apply if you've been working on your firepower, your vital force. For number 2, we have grass type energy. If you are a grass type trainer or maybe an earth sign, this can apply to you. Grass is also connected to our relationship with the earth, relationship with finances, and the relationship with our own heart. So if you've been focusing on that, number 2 may be for you. Number 3 is steel type energy. So if you are a steel trainer, number 3 is for you. Additionally, if you have been focused on fortifying your defenses, your boundaries, energetic or otherwise, or if you've been focused on alchemy or mastering your craft. Steel type I always take as people who work with their hands. Number 4, we have electric. If you are an electric type trainer, number 4 is for you. Or if you've been focused on regulating your nervous calm system, the electrical wiring of your body, then this may also be for you. This is also the solar plexus if you've been focusing on your willpower. And for number 5, let's see, for number 5, we have bug type. If you are a bug type trainer, number 5 is for you. Additionally, if you work with bugs or insects or have been seeing a lot of bugs or are going through some sort of metamorphosis, number 5 is for you. All right. We're just going to put the others off to the side and we're going to start with number 1. Number 1 is fire type. So again, if you've been working on your firepower or your fire trainer or fire astrology sign, or if you've been working on your root chakra, this is how you feel safe in your body, safe on this planet. It's your eating, sleeping patterns, everything you put in and on your body. All right, so first we're going to pull a tarot card. Let's see what the general energy for this group is. What is going on for this group? Okay, we have the 2 of Swords. It seems like there is some sort of information that is being withheld from you. 2 of Swords indicates that there is some kind of battle I'm hearing. It's a battle of wits, and there's something about secrecy and information being withheld. We also have Samurott here with Doublade, and there's also a full moon. Full moon is all about letting energy go, so it kind of feels like you're trying to release or unleash. You're trying to get rid of and let go this battle of wits. I keep hearing battle of wits. And with Samurott, it kind of feels like you've been a samurai in this situation. Like you have been using your blade very delicately and trying to win something. All right, and then I'm just going to, okay, that wants to come out. We'll just see what wants to come out on top. All right, and the rest we will put at the bottom. So this is what's happening in the light. Things that we are aware of. We have Clobopus, Slight Intrusion in reverse, coming out stuck, going right to firepower, is Grafify, using Mischievous Painting and Energized Graffiti. And then we also have Drizzle using Bounce. So it feels like there's a situation where emotionally you have bounced out of this. Drizzle is a water type, which represents the emotions. And yeah, you bounced out of it because it was a battle. As you can see, it looks like he's about to sling some water. And again, this is why it has changed into a very dry battle of wits, because it feels like you have emotionally withdrawn your situation or your energy from this situation. It says highly intelligent, but also very lazy. It keeps enemies out of its territory by laying traps everywhere. And it's called the water lizard. I almost read it as the water wizard. So we have some lizard spirit energy coming out through here. And it's talking about being very highly intelligent but lazy. So it kind of feels like there's this energy in terms of this like battle of what's happening, of like, again, the battle of wits, the intelligence. It's right here. Like you're using your intellect and wit because you don't really want to take a lot of action because you've emotionally withdrawn. So now that your emotions aren't really in it, it's kind of like, I'm just going to use, you know, my intellect through this because I don't really feel. And the thing is, it says lazy, but I don't feel lassitude here. It feels more like I'm not emotionally invested. Therefore, why should I be putting my energy and time into it? That's what it really feels like. And it talks about how that keeps enemies out of their territory by laying traps everywhere. It feels like you have really set yourself up for success and defense. Again, it feels like you have used a lot of your intellect. Like these enemies or whatever, things that are trying to win against you in whatever this battle is, they can't because it's like you have your defenses fortified where your energy is like booby trapped basically. Like there are traps for people to fall in and they've been falling in them. We have Graphifi coming out stuck to the fire energy. So it does look like there is some dark energy. This is shadow work necessary when it comes to your firepower. So this can relate to your root chakra. Again, this is your sense of safety, your everything you eat and sleep and everything you put in and on your body. And again, your firepower, your vital force to take action, to do things. So we do see some dark energy, some shadow energy there with Graphifi using mischievous painting and energized graffiti. I feel like some of you may have some of the like traps or energetics that you have protected yourself with, maybe through painting of some sort, or maybe some sort of art project where you energetically activated it to do a certain thing. We have energized graffiti. So for some of you, it may be art stuff, but for some of you, it may be a petition that you wrote or just something that you're writing. And again, with the Two of Swords, right? Swords is air energy. Air energy is writing, communicating, intellect, thoughts, things like that. So for some of you, again, it feels like you're focused more on the intellect or the writing aspect of it, or artistic aspect of it, rather than like physically taking action. It says each Graphifi paints its own individual pattern, and it will paint the same pattern over and over again throughout its life. And it's called the Toxic Monkey Pokemon. So it feels like you're recognizing that this situation is a pattern for you. And this is the shadow work that's happening in your root chakra of like, okay, like it's not to deny what this other person or people have done or are doing, but it's like, you are noticing the pattern like, oh, this keeps happening over and over again. This pattern keeps happening over and over again. And it's my pattern. It's me. It's my pattern. I'm the common denominator in all of these situations. So it feels like, and again, it's in the light. It feels like you're taking that responsibility of like, okay, I see this pattern happening again, and it is me. And then we have Clavipus coming out in reverse with Slight Intrusion in reverse. So it's a fighting energy coming out in reverse. Again, it feels like you don't really want to fight. Like, yeah, there's a battle of wits, and it is intellect and things like that with words, but you're not physically fighting because you emotionally don't really care about it that much. And with Slight Intrusion in reverse, again, it feels like you are very protected. You are not allowing any sort of intrusion because you have these traps everywhere that if anyone were to try to, you know, get closer in some sort of way, that their energy is caught. And again, it's fighting energy in reverse. So it feels like you're not really interested in fighting per se. It says, it's very curious, but its means of investigating things are to try to punch them with its tentacles. The search for food is what brings it on to land, and it's called the Tantrum Pokemon. So it is coming out in reverse. For some of you, you may be at the point where you're recognizing that you've thrown tantrums in the past and you're really working on not throwing these types of tantrums. For some of you, you may be in tantrum mode sometimes and recognizing like, okay, I don't want to do this. Again, this is your pattern that you're noticing. You know, other people may trigger it, but it is your pattern. And it's beautiful that you're taking that responsibility. And it is talking about how it's curious, but its means of investigating is to punch with tentacles, which I always take tentacles as means of manipulation. So it feels like, again, very crafty, very battle of wits. The way that you're obtaining information about the situation is through a little bit of aggressive manipulation. So it does feel like you are, again, it's a battle of wits, not an actual like punch or fight. It's very interesting. And the search for food is what brings it on to land. It feels like you may be trying to ground yourself with food by eating a lot, especially because it's firepower. Again, this is everything you eat and drink. You know, everything that you consume, put in and on your body. This includes, you know, beauty products and hair care and all that sort of stuff, because all of that can either destabilize your root and make your body feel unsafe by dysregulating your cellular systems if it's filled with poisons, for example, or it can make you feel safe if it is nourishing your cellular systems and telling them that, you know, everything's happy and well. All right, let's take a look in the shadow. So we already saw that there is some shadow energy in the light. So you are aware that this is your pattern. So let's take a deeper look at that. All right. All right, we have Slowpoke using Rest, Crabrawler using Light Punch, Ninetales using Hypnotic Gaze, Lily's Cutifly using Hold Still, and Larvesta in reverse with Combustion in reverse. So first we have Slowpoke, which is a hollow, emphasizing, I forgot to mention the Clavipus is also a hollow or reverse hollow. So with Slowpoke using Rest, it feels like, again, there's this aspect of like being lazy here. So emotionally, this may be causing some lassitude, right? Fire is your firepower. You may feel like you don't have as much gusto to do the things that you actually want to do, that your firepower isn't to its optimal capacity that you want because this situation is requiring things of you. Yeah, it's not taking, you know, you don't have to do a lot, but the fact that it's using so much of your, you know, battle of the wits type energy, it's still requiring energy from you because you still are engaging with it. So with Slowpoke here, things may be going a little bit slower than you want. You might want it to go faster, and we do have Rest. So for some of you, it is required that you rest. That is so important for your root chakra. But for some of you, you may be like, okay, this is what it feels like. The reason why you feel like you have to rest so much is because your root is trying to stabilize, but it's being destabilized by other things you're doing, what you're consuming, your beauty products, your soaps, your detergents, your food, the quality of water you drink, if you drink alcohol or do drugs, like all of these things are destabilizing your root, and then your body's trying to overcompensate by telling you that it needs to sleep more and sleep more. And that's really because your cells are trying to heal faster. But if you are to consume higher quality things, then it actually wouldn't be messing with your firepower so much, and you wouldn't have to sleep as much. Okay. It says it's always vacantly lost in thought, but no one knows what it's thinking about. It's good at fishing with its tail. So it's talking about being lost in thought. Yeah, this may, again, Two of Swords, this is all about the mental, the mind. So this situation may be getting you too stuck in your mind that this situation aside, towards things that you actually want to be passionate about, your passion projects, you know, the life you're trying to manifest into your life, you are actually thinking about this situation that is requiring your battle of wits and stuff, that it's actually causing you to just be stuck in your head instead of actually taking action. And then we have Crabrawler using Light Punch. So this is a fighting type. I am feeling that there is a little bit of fighting energy in your sacral chakra, which is your creative center, how you actually create your reality. It's also where you make emotional connections to other individuals. And Crabrawler is a crab. I always take this, like anytime there's crab or crustacean energy, it represents the mother lineage, mother wound. So it feels like some of the reason of this shadow program that is in your firepower is, yeah, there is some mother energy. It is Light Punch, so it's not, you know, super I'm hearing it's not like super detrimental, but it still is influencing this program that's running here. It says Crabrawler has been known to mistake executor for coconut tree and climate. The enraged executor shakes it off and stomps off. Yeah, so it feels like the program that's running through the mother lineage is mistaking something for what it's not. So whatever the situation is that requires a battle of wits, it feels like you thought it was one thing, but it wasn't. And it's an executor. So for some of you, it could, you know, it's like tree energy. So it could have been something that you were trying to grow with someone, but they deceived you about who they were or what they were actually going to do. Or maybe you just were in fantasy mode and you just, you know, saw the best in them because your eyes are just beautiful and you can see the best in people, but they never were actually that person. And so it caused this issue, and like you were trying to grow this thing and it just didn't work. And then the executor shakes it off and stomps off. So I feel like there is this energy of, you know, needing to shake off whatever this mistake is. And again, you may see this through the mother lineage of the mother energy on both sides of your lineage, that they, you know, both were constantly mistaking people for who they were, believing in people, thinking that there's something that they're actually not. And again, seeing the best in people when their actions don't align with what you are perceiving them to be. And then we have Nine Tails using hypnotic gaze. So Nine Tails is fox spirit. Fox spirit represents, you know, trickery and deception. So again, there is some trickery and deception, but the thing is, it's your own perception that tricked you. If you really just based people on the actions of what they were doing, then you would see very clearly. But it's almost like you were seeing things through rose-colored glasses, almost in a way. But we have the emphasis of the fire type. So we see that Nine Tails is in your fire energy using hypnotic gaze. Again, your own gaze is what's hypnotizing you. It's your perception, the way that you look at things, of just seeing people's potential and seeing people for who they're really not. Because if they're not actuating their potential, then they just stay, you know, a loser or a bum or whatever it is, right? Or just a person who's not fulfilling their potential, right? We don't have to be rude or mean. And Nine Tails, this is telling me that a tale you've been telling yourself, this tale, this program, right? We see that it's on repeat. You know that it's been on repeat because it said, or no, it wasn't this one. It was this one, the pattern that's over and over again. The pattern that's over and over again, Nine Tails. This has probably happened a minimum of 9 times in your life. It's so specific. It says, it is said to live 1,000 years, and each of its tales is loaded with supernatural powers. Yeah, some of you, again, this is a supernatural power that you have, the ability to perceive people and see people's greatness in them that maybe they don't even see. And that is such a great thing if you're like a life coach or something, right? If those people are paying you to do that kind of work and help raise them up, you know, even like a business advisor or things like that. But if you are looking for a life partner, business partner, or whatever, and you're seeing the best in people and then moving and taking action based on who those people, who you perceive them to be rather than who they actually are, you know, you're not going to actually build anything. You're going to mistake it, you know, oh, coconuts, right? And, you know, this is also talking about 1,000 years. So again, this is something that has been running in the maternal lineage for a very long time. And, you know, it doesn't matter what gender or identity you are, but, you know, it feels like that's very common. A lot of people, or a lot of women through centuries, have always believed in the best in their man, like their man's going to take care of them and do this and do this and do this. And a lot of women are very disappointed throughout these generations because their man never did that, because they believed in them. Some of them reach their potential, some of them don't. But it feels like we're at a time where our supernatural power of seeing into a possible future, of seeing in a potential timeline of someone being their very best, the best them that ever was, we cannot put our eggs in that basket, our coconuts in that basket, and just hope. We can no longer build on hope, and that's so important. We have Lily's Cutify using hold still. Yeah, when this happens, it gets your third eye to hold still. So basically your third eye just focuses on that, and it's cutify. So it's like if you think someone's cute, right? If you're attracted to them, you see the best in them. And Lily energy is like Lilith energy. This is the dark feminine program that is you know, the template is torturous. It's torturous. And that archetype needs to be integrated / removed in a way, right? Integrated so it can be removed, so that the shadow program is not consistently in your root. And again, hold still. When you see that, it holds you still. Like you're so focused on the timeline that you see, not, and even you believing in it. But the thing is if they're not that person, that timeline can't come to be. And it's the bee Pokemon, the bee fly Pokemon. It says, when it senses the aura of people or Pokemon who are having fun, it will draw close and give them a painful poke with its long proboscis. Yeah, so it's talking, you know, again, and that's kind of this like bug energy of how it happens, right? It's like, you know, you're having fun and having a great time, and then this energy that wants to hurt you, right? This torturous Lilith program, it sees that you're having fun and that the ability can happen, but then you get stung, then you get bit by this, and it freezes your third eye and gets you so stuck, like this is the way it's going to be, this is the way it has to be, sort of thing. And then with Larvesta, combustion in reverse, bringing us back to the firepower in reverse. This is stopping your firepower from combusting. This is stopping the flame to, you know, ignite you so that you are manifesting your reality, that you are, you know, doing the things that you actually want to do and have the energy to do them. It's completely dysregulating your energy centers, this program. It says the base of the volcanoes is where they make their home. They shoot fire from their 5 horns to repel attacking enemies. Yeah, and it's the torch Pokemon, and it's in reverse. This is like throwing water on your torch, basically. It's stopping your firepower, and it's talking about at the base of volcanoes is where it's its home. And again, this is a program that is causing your energy to be deregulated, your energy centers to be dysregulated. And it's talking about volcanoes. That's explosive. That's this tantrum. It's like this program keeps happening. You keep going through this over and over again of thinking someone is someone that they're not. And then you explode about it, even though everything was right there. Everything really was right there if you were using your 2 eyes rather than your supernatural power eye. Your ability to see potential and to see possibilities and possible timelines. And it's talking about using the 5 horns to repel attacking enemies. Again, it makes this energy of like people who you were once attracted to and things like that now become your enemy. And this is a program, again, that's been running and running and running. Wow, number 1, you are really going through it. Let's get an oracle to close off your reading. What animal can pile number 1 embody to help them through this right now? We have Wren, courage and humility. You know, it's really interesting that this card is humility, because reading about Wrens, it's kind of the opposite. They actually have the audacity. And there's this energy of like humility and audacity that are here. And it kind of feels like the humility, I'm picking up like you keep humiliating yourself by believing in people and seeing things in them that they are not actuating. And you need to have the audacity to see people for who they really are. Okay? And courage. Courage. You need to be courageous for yourself and have the courage to judge people only by what they are now, and just observing their behavior to see what timeline they are getting to and working on, and only, you know, engaging with people that are congruent with the timeline that you're trying to be on. Okay? Bird energy once again, which again is air, communication. So it really feels like right now it's time to, again, there's this energy of like needing to have the audacity to no longer have this humility. No more humiliation. Okay? All right, pile 1, let me know in the comments how this resonated for you. Okay, pile number 2, grass type. So if you're a grass type trainer, earth type astrology sign, or if you've been focusing on your finances, the relationship with your body, the relationship with plant. All right, pile number 2, grass type energy. So if you are a grass. All right, pile number 2, if you are a grass type trainer or maybe an earth sign in astrology, or you are focusing on your relationship with the planet, your body, or your finances, or personal growth. We are going to start and get a tarot card. Let's see what is the message for pile number 2. All right, we have the Queen of Swords coming out in reverse. Interesting, another sword. So it kind of felt stuck, but kind of in reverse. So Queen of Swords is the feminine emanation of communication and truth. So with it coming out in reverse, there can be some deception or just not authentically speaking your truth or communicating your truth in some sort of way. We do have that the Queen of Swords is Absol. Absol is known to bring messages of destruction and devastation, and people associate Absol with bad luck, even though it's not Absol's fault. Absol is actually helpful because Absol comes and warns people about these natural disasters that are going to come. So in reverse, it kind of feels like you're not speaking your truth because you may be worried that it may be perceived as negative, or that you kind of bring messages that are like forewarning, almost like, hey, be careful. So and we even have, who's flying in the background? A picky peck. Yeah, you may feel like maybe you'd be annoying people with your truth in some sort of way. It's a very interesting energy. Let's see. All right, that wants to come out in the light, and the 2 are in the shadow. There's only 3 cards in this one. Interesting. So coming out in the light, we have Luxio using Big Bite. So I'm getting that there is some energy. So this is electric type, which has to do with the solar plexus. This is willpower. This is authenticity. And again, that's what I was getting with the Queen of Swords in reverse. It kind of feels like and it's like reverse and stuck. This is kind of how it came out, like diagonally. So it kind of feels like you're stuck, feeling like you can't be authentically yourself because some of these truths that you have to say are like negative, or people will be like, oh, they're just, you know, talking about dystopian things, or that's kind of how it feels, or like bringing the vibe down, you know, like all these weird fake people, all love and light, but like that's not our reality, and that doesn't actually help us navigate through reality, right? It doesn't help us navigate through anything really. And with Bug Bite or Big Bite here, it feels like it's almost like something took a bite out of your solar plexus that like disrupted your ego, disrupted your sense of self, your personal inner authority to be yourself. And it's almost like that how do I want to put this? It attempts to stop your willpower. It's almost like something tried to supersede your free will. This could be black magic by chance. That's usually the energy that tries to supersede free will. We also have a Alolan Executor on here, which I am noticing now. And there could be something about the Alolan Hawaiian Islands that is involved with this as well. Let's see. By gathering their tails together, they collectively generate powerful electricity from their claws. Okay, so it's talking about gathering the tails together. So again, it feels like there's this energy of worrying that if you're saying this tale, by saying this story or whatever truth that you have, that if you generate it enough that it will like cause it to happen, rather than actually warning about something that is already going to happen. This is a very kind of tricky situation, and I understand your hesitation. So let's see what's in the shadow here. We have Bone Sweet using Quick Blow, and Aromatisse using Perfume Press. Okay, so in the shadow, we have some very sweet energy. Okay, so it seems like in the shadow, you have this energy of wanting to just be sweet and nice, and like everyone loves a fruit and a flower. You know what I mean? Not everyone likes the courageous. This is like Leo energy too, like the courageous you know, animalistic energy of Absol that brings the message of, hey, destruction is coming. Okay? And it's almost like you have these messages of warning people about something, but you're holding back because you're afraid if you say it, it's going to cause it. And honestly, it feels like you're being very responsible from that, but the potential to help people is in that truth, is in that message. Okay? So again, in the shadow, we have quick blow. So with Bone Sweet here, quick blow, it kind of feels like there's this, there's an energy of like in your heart quickly tries to shut it down because you're like, no, I should be sweet, right? Because like everyone likes sweet. So there's this energy, again, something took a big bite out of your solar plexus of your authenticity of like, it's like you want to be liked by everyone. And that's not authentic. That's not an authentic energy. And so, you know, being overly sweet can also make you sick. You know what I mean? And it feels like that's kind of the energy. Your shadow just is like, oh, but I want everyone to accept me. No, the shadow needs to strengthen up. The shadow needs to be reintegrated into the solar plexus of like, not everyone's going to like me. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not everyone's cup of anything. Okay, but I'm here to share my truth because that's what I'm here to do. It says, its sweat is sweet, like syrup made from boiled down fruit. Because of this, Bone Sweet was highly valued in the past when sweeteners were scarce. Yeah, so it feels like you realize that there was some sort of value that you got or received, or like something that you got when you were being overly sweet. Like you may have had some sort of benefit. Maybe people were giving you things or doing whatever. And like right, it's like this energy was highly valued in the past, but like right now, that overly sweet fake energy is not highly valued. Like it is time to be authentic and, you know, be more on the aggressive end, like Luxio and Absol. And it's not that your sweetness doesn't exist. Of course it does, right? Like, of course it does. But there is this energy of like really needing to, I'm hearing buck up and like share this. Because with perfume press, honestly, I'm really getting that there is like press, I always take as press for time. Like there is something that is very time sensitive, and that's what Absol is all about, right? And even like the Alolan Executors, like if you knew that Hawaii was going to be harmed, would you tell people to get them off those islands or to, you know, be protected in a certain way? Or would you be afraid to speak it because you're afraid to cause it? You know, no, you want to warn people. That is what you need to do. And the fact that this is talking about the sweat being sweet and this is talking about perfume, it does feel like there's something about your literal biochemistry that changed. You may even maybe smell sweeter or something like that. But it's time for you to get back to your natural biochemistry of like totality and get that reintegrated solar plexus. It says, the scent that's constantly emitted from its fur is so powerful that its Pokemon's companions will eventually lose their sense of smell. Wow. Okay, so talking about losing the sense of smell, this definitely gives me, you know, C19 energy. I'm sure you all can figure out what that is. So again, it feels like you may know that something similar to what happened in, you know, 2019, 2020 is going to happen, and you're afraid to talk about it because you're afraid, you know, you along with everyone else who is telling a similar tale are going to cause it to happen because you want to be overly sweet and kind of light and da-da-da. It's so interesting because like the shadow energy is like, oh, right? And just like I said, like with the sweetness, it's like you have too much sweetness, you get sick. You get this like, oh, beautiful, you know, smell so much, you lose your sense of smell. And so you need to be using your truth before you lose it, okay? Speak your truth. Wow. Pile 2. All right. Let's see. We're going to do an animal oracle for you. What animal should pile 2 embody right now to help them with this? We have boar. Boar, combativeness and honor. Yeah, it's okay to be combative, right? Boars, not a lot of people like them, right? They're aggressive. They're kind of like pigs. And, you know, they are combative. They will battle anyone who enters their territory. They will attack people. They have very thick skin as well. And it feels like, you know, going right to the shadow and the bone sweet, like, yes, you can be sweet, but it's time for you to have thick skin now. You need to feel safe to be combative. And that's what the Queen of Swords is, right? The Queen of Swords has a sword and has their armor on. They're not afraid of battling. They're not afraid of WAR because they're armed with the truth. But if you just want to be sweet all the time, then you're not expressing your truth. And that's not going to work. And honor. Honor can only come from being truthful, right? Courage, honor, truth. These things all go together. And it kind of feels like that's that, you know, Leo energy that's coming out here as well, of like honoring yourself, honoring your truth by being willing to speak up about these things, even if they're not sweet and rainbow and sunshine and unicorns, okay? It is safe to do so. All right, power 2. Okay, yeah, more power to you, pile 2. Very interesting energy for you guys. Thank you. Let me know in the comments how that resonated. And now we'll go on to number 3, which is steel type. It's so interesting because when this came out and I assigned it number 3, it literally was like, no, I'm number 1. I'm number 1. And I almost rearranged it. I was like, no. I'm the assigner. Okay. And so I feel like there is some sort of energy of like competition here, and even steel energy, which I didn't mention at the beginning, can indicate that someone's trying to steal energy from you. And that is, you know, the reason why there's a necessity to have these energetic boundaries and just boundaries in general is because if you don't have boundaries, takers will come find you and they will steal. Okay. And so again, if you're a steel type trainer, this applies to you. Also, if you are if you are trying to master your craft, or you work with your hands, or especially if you're a metalsmith, right? Or an alchemist. Ooh, my ear, it like rang and then it went down an octave. Interesting energy, you guys. All right, let's see what, okay, there's a lot, y'all. Okay, number 3. Yeah, you need a lot of messages, it feels like. Okay. Okay. Colored sleeves, and then these are trading cards. All right, we have quite a few things going on here. All right, we're going to, we're going to start with the tarot. So let's get a general energy of what is going on here. I'm already getting like the sleeves energy, which is the protection. It's blue too. It feels like you really need to protect your throat chakra at this time. Energetically, so that nothing materializes in your throat. And also your throat are an extension of ears, right? Ear, nose, and throat all go together. And so, yeah, you really need to protect your throat. And again, like steel energy is all about boundaries, protection, and there's even more of an emphasis of protection in there. I had no idea that that was what was in there. Does it even say? Oh, it does say card protectors. Okay. All right. Let's see. Whoa. Y'all, no. Okay, yeah. You need to be able to tell people no. Okay? And it kind of feels like you may even be, you know, if you're not dealing with someone trying to steal your energy, you may need to assess whether you're trying to take a lot of energy. It's like you wanted to be number 1. It's like you didn't want to wait your turn. You want all these cards, like there's already over 20 Pokemon cards that I see, and then, you know, like 20 tarot cards comes out. No, this is a free YouTube reading. Like what's going on here, you guys? Like are people placing boundaries with you and it's upsetting you? Let's see. Let's be brief, you know, very specific here, please. Let's go. Thank you. Yeah, the Emperor in reverse. Yeah, you're not in control and it's pissing you off, because you're not the one that's in control and you're not the boss of everything that's happening. Again, it feels like people are putting boundaries with you and you're not able to, you know, be the Emperor. The Emperor, this is Empoleon, by the way, very icy. It kind of feels like you're you're used to being the head honcho and like having everything your way and calling all the shots. And with it in reverse, it's making you upset that you feel like you're not on your throne, that you're not in control of things. And again, the emphasis of the icy energy, it feels like you're kind of perceiving that people who don't give in to whatever it is that you want, like you are, you're thinking that they're like icing you out or being cold, but like that's not really how it works. Okay. All right, let's see. And we have online code cards. Oh, these are online code cards. Okay. So for some of you, are they all online cards? It may be with people who are online. So for some of you, you're dealing with some relationships that are purely online. Okay, there's one online code card, and then there's 3. So for some of you, this has to do with like people online. We have Galarian Obstagoon using Scarring Shout, Ralts using Collect, and Eevee using Skip. So with Galarian Obstagoon here, which is a dark type, so this is indicating some sort of shadow program that is going on. And it's called Scarring Shout and blocking Pokemon. Yeah, you may be blocking people online and shouting at people, maybe getting arguments with people who are online because of these boundary issues. It says, its voice is staggering in volume. Obstagoon has a tendency to take on a threatening posture and shout. This move is known as obstruct. So yeah, it feels like you're yelling at people and being very, very aggressive. You know, taking a threatening posture in some sort of way. And then this is actually obstructing you. It's your shadow that is trying to block people. And with Ralts using Collect and its feeling, like this feeling is collecting around you. And it has to do with the inner child. This is shadow work that has not been done by the inner child yet, right? It's like the shouting and this and that and this and that. And likely you probably grew up in a house where yelling and anger and aggression was very normal. And it says, the horns on its head provide a strong power that enables it to sense people's emotions. Yeah, so it's like you're sensing people's emotions, getting upset about it, maybe because it feels like cold, like they're not giving you the emotional reaction that you want. And therefore, you're sensing these emotions. It's talking about its horns too. When your crown chakra has horns on it, that's usually an indication of very low vibrational or dense energy when it comes to your crown chakra, which is how you're taking data from the external world and then internalizing it in your mind. And so, you know, you were brought up this way. You were brought up with these horns on your head to sense other people's emotions because you probably grew up in a very aggressive, unstable household where yelling was normal and things like that. And, you know, that's, you know, and then it's like when, you know, again, no boundaries. You grew up in a household with no boundaries where there was a lot of emotional enmeshment. And it's like if one person was emotionally upset, the whole house was upset. You know, one person determined the emotional fortitude and emotional feeling of the entire house all the time. You know, someone was always in control. They used emotions as a manipulation tactic where they were always in control. And it feels like there are situations where this is not, you know, it's not working for you. Maybe people are blocking you because of the way that you're talking to them or yelling or something like that. And then we have Eevee using Skip. So it kind of feels like there's part of the sense of self is what I'm hearing that you skipped, of like understanding that you can be any type that you want. You don't have to be this aggressive, you know, yelling or, you know, overly sensitive or feeling like you always have to be controlled. You don't have to be that way. Okay. You may have been raised a certain way and there may be some, you know, programs that are running that are very solid in your programming system, but it doesn't mean you have to be that way. You need to embody a little bit more Eevee energy of like, I can be anything, I can change into anything, I can evolve into anything that I want. It says its ability to evolve into many forms allow it to adapt smoothly and perfectly to any environment. Yeah, like you have the ability to change, okay? You have the ability to change, okay? So don't feel like, and the thing is like, that's the part about the Emperor upright. What you really want is to be in control of yourself. Instead of trying to control everybody else, you need to control yourself. And you have control to become anything that you want, to become any type that you want. And that's really the way to move with what you're dealing with right now. Okay. That felt like a separate message. Yeah, you guys are getting lots of messages. Lucky you, okay? Let's put, okay, the Emperor wants to be upright. Okay, so I'm feeling like, for those of you who are ready to be Emperor upright, like, Emperor upright is controlling your reality, right? The Emperor's word is law. Like, they're in charge for a reason. If you actually want to be in a position of authority, you cannot behave like this. You can't. No one will respect you or listen to you because you don't even have control over yourself. Okay. So let's see. This is energy card. So we're going to take a look into what energies want to come out. Fighting. Yes. The fighting type. This is also the sacral chakra, the emotional center of the body. We have solar plexus energy, upright, electric energy, and electric energy in reverse. So yeah, it feels like you need to determine like who you truly are, your authentic self. Have your willpower, you know, to say yes to the things that you actually want to do, and also say no to the things. Get rid of anything that is trying to supersede your free will, and stop trying to control other people. Like, if it's coming through very, very carefully, like when you are able to fully control yourself, you don't even want to control other people, because it's like if their behavior is not becoming, then you just remove yourself, and that's that, you know. And then fire energy in reverse. Yeah, it kind of feels like you need to tone your fire energy down a little bit. It's not that you, you know, don't need firepower, but it feels like you need to have a little bit more of this icy energy of like being able to be a little bit stoic, being able to, you know, hold back your emotions and really see, like, as a position, as a person of authority, what choices should I make? And the Emperor is the Emperor because he rules over the empire. He rules all the kings and all the queens. That is a big responsibility. If this person is insane, if this person is emotionally unstable, like, everybody suffers. And that's why they have to be, you know, solid. They have to be, very, sometimes even emotionally detached from situations in order to make the most logical choice that is going to benefit the entire empire. Okay. And if that's what you want, if you want to have your own empire, which it feels like you do, let's see what to do. Okay. All right. We're going to look deeper into this. Okay. I'm just going to keep these like on the side. All right. You guys get 16 cards. We'll see what wants to come out in the light and the shadow. All right, what wants to come out in the light? Whoa. Okay, and then these will be, well, let's see what wants to come out in the shadow. I feel like there's also a closing message for you guys, potentially. Okay. Oh, this is the closing message. This is the shadow. All right, and then this is the light. This is the light. Some fell on the floor. Let me grab them. Oh, it was a card from pile 2. And it was the Luxio. This is what fell on the ground. So again, big bite out of the solar plexus if you didn't read number 2. All right, coming out in the light, we have bug catching set in reverse, Briar, Trainer Briar, Trainer Atticus in reverse, Snubble Tackle in reverse, and Delmise using Annihilating Anchor. Dang, you guys are intense. Okay, so first we have, okay, so trainers indicate someone else's energy. So we see that someone else, there's actually like multiple people here that are happening. So with bug catching set in reverse, it feels like someone refused to get caught in something. It feels like something bugged them so much, and then they, like, I'm hearing they bounced out. Like, they were just not really interested in getting caught up in whatever sort of game was being played here. I'm also hearing that you need to understand that, like, when you're in this position of authority, not everyone is, okay, I'm hearing, like, you need to understand, like, it's not your job to catch everyone. Like, maybe you feel like you have to kind of aha, I gotcha sort of thing. But it's just not gonna happen that way, okay? It's like you need to have better priorities and think a little bit bigger about your position of authority, of what you're doing and how you're interacting. And then we have trainer Briar here. So admittedly, I don't really know much about this trainer, but it seems like she is high tech. She's wearing some very kind of cryptic jewelry and outfit, and she has some books and a computer. So it definitely feels like research, technology, and things like that. And Briar is like thorns, right? A briar patch is like a giant thing of thorns. So I kind of feel like there are some people who are like a thorn in your side, and it may be some energy around like technology or some sort of like information that's being shared is what I'm hearing. And then we have Atticus coming out in reverse. I also don't know much about Atticus here. But it looks like he is one of the people that have like a graphifi, judging by the background, which is like all painted and stuff. So I feel like there's something about like art and stuff, but it's coming out in reverse. So it might be someone who was an artist. And it's kind of like this, like, you know, talking about the Emperor being in the determining factor seat, right? Basically having the power to tell people what to do. You wouldn't tell an artist how to paint. You know what I mean? You wouldn't tell an artist how or what they can use to make their art, right? Whether it's through speech or through painting or whatever. And it's kind of the same way, like people are artists of their life, and like you have to let them kind of create what they're going to create so that you can kind of judge them accordingly is what I'm hearing. And with Atticus in reverse, the first thing I thought of was Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. And so with it in reverse, like Atticus Finch is the lawyer. So in reverse, it kind of feels like, again, if you were thinking about taking like legal action to try to control someone or something like that, personally, I would say it's probably not worth it in some way. Just letting you know. Okay. All right. We'll move on. With Snubbull using tackle in reverse, it feels like there's something that you're not necessarily tackling here. And it has to do with the third eye. So this is the mental perception, right? Your third eye chakra is your mindset, where your thoughts are. It says, in truth, it is a cowardly Pokemon. It growls eagerly in order to hide from its fear from its opponent. Okay. Again, solar plexus, that's where your courage is. That's literally what this card that fell to the floor was. It feels like maybe, you know, it's talking about being cowardly. And it feels like, you know, when the Emperor was coming out in reverse, like you may feel like you can't take things on if things are a certain way. And that's why you try to control them, because that's the only way that you'll actually feel safe. It's talking about, you know, growling to try to scare people, to try to put fear in its opponent, because it's actually a coward. And it kind of feels like that's what this is, of like getting so upset about things and trying to be like rough and tough and angry and mean and things like that, because you're trying to scare people before you can actually make a connection with them or something like that. And then we have Delmise using annihilating anchor. So it feels like it's in the heart chakra. It's causing your heart chakra demise. It's causing you to, you know, people who have the potential to love you and you love them, it's scaring them away is what it feels like. And with annihilating anchor, it's like it's annihilating the grounding energy in your heart chakra. Like you can't feel safe to put your anchor somewhere. You can't feel safe to feel grounded and anchored, especially in love, because you're in this constant energy of feeling like you have to be on top, that you have to be in control, that you have to, you know, be the emperor. It says, after a piece of seaweed merged with debris from a sunken ship, it was reborn as a ghost Pokemon. Yeah, so it's talking about, you know, this debris with a sunken ship. So you may have, you know, been on an emotional journey and things went rock bottom, literally. And like that situation where your heart went rock bottom has left a ghost. It created a ghost. A ghost of your past is literally causing your heart chakra to just annihilate anyone. And again, this is unhealed shadow energy. This is unhealed childhood trauma that is still running and causing all these problems for literally like everyone that you meet. Maybe not everyone, but like at least 3 people showing up. In the shadow, we have Fusion Strike Energy in reverse, Morpeko Targeted Spark, and Ghastly using Allure. So with Fusion Strike Energy coming out in reverse, it feels like you need to unfuse your energy centers with other people, okay? Especially the lower ones. This is the root chakra coming out in reverse. This is the sacral, and this is the solar plexus. So these are the bottom, literally the 3 energy centers that anchor you here. The root chakra does the most anchoring, but like it's literally your root chakra is, you know, at the base of your spine. The solar plexus is here, the sacral is here, and the solar plexus is here. Red, orange, yellow. And these are the chakras you need to unfuse. And especially if you were with someone who really brought you way down, like brought you to rock bottom, you need to make sure your energy centers are not fused with that person anymore. Do a cord cutting, do energy clearing, whatever you have to do. Because yeah, Fusion Strike Energy in reverse, like you need to defuse the energy here. And with Morpeko Targeted Spark, again, it feels like your solar plexus, that yellow energy, was targeted. It was targeted. And we have Morpeko here with all these, like, you know, heart berries and things like that. So it feels like there was a romantic relationship that really took a lot out of your solar plexus. That, again, that's your willpower. Like, there's so much happening about the solar plexus here. And I feel like that's why it's coming out upright and reverse. Like, you originally were coming out as the Emperor in reverse. That's not good. That means you're trying to control other people through domination and things like that, rather than emanating your own inner authority that other people naturally elect you to this position of power. It says it carries electrically roasted seeds with it, almost like they're a precious treasure. No matter how much it eats, it always gets hungry again in a short order. So again, this can be causing some eating issues in some sort of way, which obviously solar plexus, sacral root, that is where a lot of adipose tissue, fat storage happens. This could have a lot to do with food and willpower around food, because the root chakra is everything you eat, drink, consume, put in and on your body. So it feels like there was an individual that you got into a romantic relationship and they targeted you, and your solar plexus was targeted, and your relationship with food has really changed. And with Ghastly using Allure, again, we have the ghost type energy, the ghost from the past, right? There is an allure to ghosts, right? It's like, it's familiar. Ghosts of our past are familiar. So when someone has a familiar energy, recognize, like, I've been in this pattern before. I know what it is. I know what it is because it feels familiar. People who feel familiar, that's usually not a good thing, unless what is familiar to you are good things, right? And again, it's the allure. So it's like this ghost of your past is going to try to allure you back in. There is an allure to it, again, because it feels safe, because it feels normal. It says it wraps its opponent in a gas-like body, slowly weakening its prey by poisoning it through the skin. Yeah, like I said, everything you put in and on your body, you need to be careful about poisons that you're putting in and on your body, especially if they have things like dyes, fragrances, you know, all of these synthetic ingredients and things like that, especially on your skin. Look at your lotion. What's in that? Like, read the ingredients. Your skin is the most, the largest organ of your body, and you need to make sure that you're not poisoning, that you're not poisoning yourself. Of course, as I'm like, yeah, because literally gas, like, it's causing a problem for your body. Very specific message. You need to change whatever it is that you're putting on your body. Okay. All right, and then you guys get a closing message, okay? Okay, I'm hearing, actually, no. These are going to go there, and that's it for you. All right, and we are going to pull an oracle to end it for you, which is going to be, what animal do you need to embody right now in order to help heal what is going on? All right, cat. Independence and psychic power. Cat energy is very feminine. Emperor energy is very masculine, right? The Empress is the feminine emanation of the Emperor. And it feels like your masculine energy, again, was like really focused on domination and control and things like that. It's time to bring in a little bit more of that feminine energy with independence, right? Independence is not feeling like you have to control anybody, right? Because if you feel like you have to control people, you're actually dependent on them because you feel like you have to control them. But if you control yourself, that's when you can truly be independent. And psychic power. So it seems like some of you really need to tune into your psychic senses and hone in on some of your psychic powers, okay? Okay, I'm getting called to pull one more. Yeah, you guys just want more is kind of what it feels like, honestly, which is fine. If you want, we have Moth Spirit. I will record this reading as a separate reading and I will post it on my website. If you are interested in becoming a member, I will do that reading for you and you can access it there, okay? I'll put pile number 3 extended and you can get your extra message, okay? Moth, change and dreams. Yeah, Moth Spirit. This is about metamorphosis, going through some sort of change. Moth Spirit is beautiful because of that. So it feels like, and Moth is the metamorphosis of the shadow. Your shadow self needs to go through a metamorphosis. It needs to change if you want a better reality and if you actually want to be the Emperor upright energy here, okay? And it's talking about dreams. So there's psychic powers and dreams together. It feels like a lot of information is going to be coming in through your dreams. And so it's important that you have your third eye cleansed and cleared so that you can receive those messages in your dreams. So that the messages are very clear and so that you can take that guidance. I really recommend having a dream journal at this time, okay? And again, I will read this. I'm going to put it on my website for you guys. And if you want to become an Eagle or Phoenix member, you can do that and you can get the extra reading for you guys, okay? Let me know in the comments how this reading went for you guys. Again, there's no judgment. I'm not judging you. I'm just reading the energy, okay? I want to help you. I want to help you get to that upright position, okay? All right, on to number 4, electric energy. So if you are an electric trainer, this reading is for you. Also, if you've been working on regulating your nervous calm system or focused on the solar plexus, the sense of self, your willpower. I'm recording this on August, I think it's 27th today. So if you see this before September 9th, I'm actually doing let me grab it, a summoning Azelf spell work. So I'm going to be summoning Azelf, which is the willpower Pokemon, and you can make a donation. I'll put all the information in the description box below. You can make a donation. I'm going to be summoning Azelf. It is activated with crystals, herbs, flowers, and other things. And I'm going to start the spell work on the 10th. It's going to be approximately 7 days for the spell work to be complete. It is going to do a solar plexus cleansing, clearing, and activating, and is going to enhance your willpower. I will also, if you send a donation, you need to put your email address in there because I'm going to send you the instructions, which has a prayer for you to say to Azelf, and you can insert your petition of how you want to do how you want to enact your willpower. So for some of you, maybe you want to do something like, I want the willpower to work on this passion project or open my own business or whatever it is. Or maybe you want to use your willpower to stop doing something that you know that you need to stop doing. Like, I need to stop texting my ex. I need to stop smoking. I need to stop biting my nails, whatever it is, right? And it is community spell work, so it's donation based, whatever you can. I always aim for my community work to be affordable to everybody. But if you feel like you want to do this alone, I also have a Shiny Azelf candle. I only have one, and you can summon Shiny Azelf yourself and do this work. It comes with instruction manual and the prayer and all of that, and all that's on my website at SachiTheSeer.com. Okay. All right, let's see what the general energy is for you guys in pile number 4. Let's see, electric energy. Okay. Ooh, I love it. All right, we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning. Yeah, kind of what we're talking about. Like, Ace of Pentacles can be new job, new project, new workout, something that has to do with the physical realm, and you are beginning something new. So that is really great. Let's find out some more information. Coming out stuck is the Moon, and coming out stuck is the Magician. Okay, we have some moon magic coming out. So yeah, it feels like your new endeavor of how you are starting this. It feels like with the Moon, some of it may be hidden or secret in some sort of way. The Moon represents mystery and things that are hidden. So maybe you're starting something, and that's part of it, is like part of what's going to happen here, or what I'm doing, is a mystery, or maybe you might be doing it in secret. Some of it may have to do with emotions. The moon is connected to a lot of lunar programs that can manipulate the emotional body. And we have Skorupi here, which is scorpionic energy, and then we have Herdier and Mightyena. So it kind of feels like you're calling in your pack, is what I'm hearing. Like you want to find people who resonate with you on that dog type, pack energy. And with Skorupi here, it feels like there is some poison to transmute, some shadow work that is involved here. You may be a shadow worker or a transmuter. And with the Magician, some of you may be starting a spiritual business or something like that, or using magic in order to manifest your reality, or maybe you're just learning about ceremonial magic and things like that, working with the unseen forces, learning secret and hidden information from the masses. So that is really cool. Thus far, you guys kind of have the almost the most uplifting one, I'll say. Okay, let's see what's coming out in the light here. All right, Alolan Geodude, and the rest will be in the shadow. So Alolan Geodude in the light, yeah, solar plexus energy here. Okay, and Knuckle Punch. So it kind of feels, and it's the rock Pokemon, it kind of feels like you were like punched in the gut, is what I'm hearing. Like your willpower is becoming more and more solid after having harm done to it. So it feels like someone tried to control your will. Someone tried to control your actions. Like they were trying to, just control you in some sort of way. And again, it feels like your solar plexus is becoming more solid. You're becoming more sure of who you are. You're becoming more sure of your sense of self. You're having a healthier ego. So that's all really good. And also, I forgot to mention here, we have the Ace of Pentacles here, and then, which is Staryu. And on here, we have Staryu as the pentacle as well. So yeah, it feels like for some of you, maybe you're even doing money magic and things like that. We have, I thought it was Delphox, but it's the middle one. It's not coming to Braxian. And then we also have Arbok here, right? Snake Spirit. So we have two emanations of Scorpius here, Snake Spirit and Skorupi. So I feel like there's some Scorpionic and Ophiuchus energy here too, by the way, just saying. All right, anyway, that's astrology for those of you who don't know. If you step on a Geodude sleeping in the ground, you'll hear a zapping sound and feel a tingling shock through your entire body. Yeah, it feels like it's talking about sleeping on the ground, hearing a zapping sound. Yeah, okay, I'm hearing some of you, if you've been hearing an electric like buzz for something, you need to unplug whatever that is, okay? That means like poor electrical stuff, and you don't want that. But it is talking about a tingling shock through your entire body. Again, it feels like your whole energy system is really recalibrating for your solar plexus to be solid again. And with the Alolan here, it feels like perhaps the Hawaiian Islands had something to do about it. Maybe you visited the Hawaiian region, or, in person, or maybe you also have been doing that in your astral space, in your dreams, and that has like really helped you with this. And yeah, it just feels like you feel so powerful right now because again, you're on this new beginning, and it's really, really beautiful. Let's see what's the shadow here. And I feel like this is going to tell us a little bit more about the moon energy, this secret hidden stuff. We have Yamper using Bite, Oddish Trip Over in reverse, Shroodle using Spray Fluid. Oh, maybe I should show you. Trip Over in reverse, Shroodle using Spray Fluid, Castform Sunny Form using Singe, Wugtrio using Headbutt, Weezing using Mix and Toxin, no surprise there, we saw the Skorupi and the Arbok, and Claydol using Mystery Charge. Again, there's that mystery, told ya. All right. First, we have Yamper using Bite, which is the puppy Pokemon. So again, there is this emphasis on the solar plexus once again with the electrical energy. And again, it's about regulating your nervous system, your nervous calm system. And it feels like your nervous calm system is literally doing a full upgrade. And maybe you're even feeling, you know, actual tingling sensations in your body, and that's a good thing. And we have, again, the bite. So it kind of feels like, remember in the moon how I said, like, it feels like you're calling in your pack with Herdier and Mightyena? Well, now we have another puppy Pokemon, right? Another dog. So it feels like with puppy, you're in the beginning stages of this. No surprise with the Ace of Pentacles, which usually does represent the beginning of that cycle, or beginning of a venture, I should say. Doesn't have to be a cycle, right? And yeah. Okay, let's see. This Pokemon is very popular as a herding dog in the Galar region. As it runs, it generates electricity from the base of its tail. Yeah, so again, it feels like you're becoming very popular, even though with the moon here, some things may be a little bit hidden, but it does feel like you are gaining popularity in some sort of way where your tribe is finding you. Like, or not even your tribe, your pack. Your pack is finding you. And it is talking about as it runs, it generates that electricity. So for some of you, you may be going on more runs and like literally, I'm hearing like sweating it out. And that's part of like your nervous calm system regulation. With oddish trip over in reverse, it feels like you're not tripping. Like your heart chakra, you're no longer tripping over things that have happened in the past. When odd things happen, it doesn't like make you stumble or anything like that. When something tries to trip you up, you don't trip and you just like do your magic to navigate it, is what I'm hearing. Good for you. It says its scientific name is Adium wondrous. At night, it is said to walk nearly 1,000 feet on its 2 roots. Yeah, you know, I even said like some of you, rather than running, you may be walking, but it feels like both. Like you may be moving a lot. And even Ace of Pentacles, like I said, it could be a new workout routine. Like it feels like you are just moving a lot. You're moving forward a lot. And that is materializing in your physical reality as a new beginning as well. And it's talking about its 2 roots. So I feel like this is really helping you and your root chakra. And for some of you, if you have an actual dog or puppy, it feels like it's also helping both of your root chakras as well. And it's saying its scientific name is Adium wondrous. And it's like, it's weird, but wonderful. And I kind of feel like that's how this new beginning is for you. Like it's very weird, but it's very wonderful. It feels very magical. Some things still may be hidden. Maybe you don't see everything clearly, but it feels pretty good. Honestly, this is my favorite reading so far. Nothing against any of the other readings, but this is, it feels the best. With Strudel here using spray fluid, however, we have some dark energy here. So this is dark energy coming out in the shadow, which can be the most repressed aspect of the shadow that doesn't want to be shown. And look, even the shadow is like, doo-doo-doo. Maybe I need to move the light, right? Using spray fluid, and it's the toxic mouse Pokemon. So I'm getting like there can be some toxic fluid that you've been spraying. This could be a perfume. This could be a poison. This could be something that is just not good here. And even maybe I'm hearing like for some of you really toxic gas. Okay. Oh yeah, with the wheezing. Yeah. All right. To keep enemies away from its territory, it paints markings around its nest using a poisonous liquid that has an acrid color. Okay, so for some of you, yeah, there's a poisonous liquid around your home and you need to be really, really careful of it. It's kind of bringing to mind, I was just, you know, for those of you who have a dog, you really need to be careful for people who spray their yards. You know, they put the little sign that says don't walk on it. Like people literally spray their entire yard with poison. And if that gets on your dog's paws, which that's like how they perspirate, right? They, through their paws, it's very absorbent. So if they're absorbing those toxins, you really need to be careful and take care of your doggy that way. But anyway, it kind of feels like you need to be very careful about what you're doing in your yard or around your home, and make sure that none of your, you know, household sprays, perfumes, whatever it is not actually poisonous and harming you. Okay. And even like spray on your skin, because here we have Casper and Sunny Day. So if it's something that like you're using, you know, on your skin, please be very careful. And this is also talking about its paint. So like if you're, you know, maybe the paint on your house maybe has lead in it or something. It could be a lot of different things. I don't want to focus too much on that, but just like look at the ingredients and double check some of these things that you have in your house, either that you're using for, you know, creative endeavors or whatever it may be. And then we have cast form using sunny form. Yeah, it feels like things are pretty good. Like even in your shadow, again, there is some poison in your shadow for sure, you know, for sure. There is some dark energy in your shadow, and we'll get even more when we get to wheezing, which I felt that was Skorupi and Arbok anyway. But in general, it feels like, yeah, things are sunny and beautiful, right? Cast form is all about the environment, and it feels like the environment is sunny right now. The environment is very warming and welcoming. It's good weather, good environment is what it's feeling like. But with singe here, you want to be careful that you don't get burnt, right? That you don't get singed. It says, this is the form cast form takes on bright days. It is, in an experiment where cast form was placed in front of a heater, it didn't change its form. So yeah, this is talking about like true light. Again, that's why your solar plexus is getting solid, because you are actually in your true light. And maybe some of your true light has a lot to do with the moon, right? Has a lot to do with lunar programs. Maybe some of your light is this reflective energy, right? The moon doesn't actually have any light. And that's the whole point of cast form, is like it changes into this form from the rays of the actual sun, right? Sitting in a room with a light bulb or in front of a heater is not the same as actually being outside and getting actual sunlight. So I feel like you're noticing that, and you're probably getting actual sun, which is really good. And you're noticing, oh, okay, as I'm getting sun, like I'm feeling better and doing better. And yeah, this is definitely an indication to like spend more time outside in the sun itself. And then we have Wug Trio using headbutt here. So this is a water type energy, which represents some sort of emotional thing that's going on, and it's headbutt, and it's called the garden eel. So, you know, with the 3 here, it feels like almost like there's a 3-headed emotional program, almost like the 3-headed dog, like a Seabr's program that's in your emotional body, and all of these things are headbutting. So there can be some, you know, you feel different ways about a certain thing, and it's like your shadow is really holding space for a lot of headbutting emotions, and that's very moon energy. It's very, very lunar programming. It says it has a vicious temperament, contrary to what its appearance may suggest. It wraps its long bodies around prey, then drags the prey into its den. So this is the difference between what things look like and how they actually are. And this is talking about a vicious temperament. So, you know, maybe you might look cute and innocent and things like that, but truly there is a vicious energy underneath. And that's kind of how the moon is. And, you know, it even shows in the water. It's kind of like the ocean, right? The ocean may look calm, but like what's under the water can be very vicious. And it kind of feels like that's kind of what's happening in your emotional body. And maybe even you've been doing some vicious magic for some of you potentially. And it might be because how do I want to put this? Some of you, there was so much light that you got burnt, and now your shadow is kind of headbutting through these emotional programs. But let's continue, and let's move to wheezing. Wheezing, dark energy. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention this is the weed Pokemon. So some of you may be engaging in that substance, and you're noticing some things with your breathing, perhaps. Again, we have poisons that are really being emphasized here with Skorupi, Arbok, and Trudel. And it's using mixin toxin. So it kind of feels like there's a mix of different toxins that are happening, and it feels like they could be poisoning your emotional body, but it does seem like there is something actually physical in your environment that may be causing some sort of poison. It says, very rarely, a sudden mutation can result in 2 small coughing twins becoming conjoined as a wheezing. Okay, so one, you need to be careful of actual poisons that are mutagens, carcinogens. because those are going to cause mutations in your cells, and you don't want that to be happening in your cells, which is why you need to be a little bit more cognizant of the stuff that you're using in and around your home with your arts and crafts and things like that. The other thing is it's talking about two small coughing twins becoming conjoined as a wheezing. It kind of feels like you got attached to somebody that was toxic, and like both of your toxic energy just like amplified, and it kind of like became an energy on its own. And that energy, I feel like, really needs to be cleared. Okay. It kind of feels like it's a thing that happened in the past, and it feels like a very secondary kind of energy, like almost as a separate message, I want to say. But that might be part of the multiple emotions that you're feeling, and even this viciousness that is lying under the surface as well of your emotional body. And then we have clay doll using mysterious charge. So, and there's a fighting energy. So I'm getting that there may be a financial charge that is mysterious, and it may cause a fight in some sort of way. It says this mysterious Pokemon started life as an ancient clay figurine made over 20,000 years ago. So yeah, okay. I feel like if this is another person that you are dealing with, there may be some sort of argument about a mysterious charge in some sort of way. The other thing that I'm feeling, how it's talking about the mystery Pokemon that started life as an ancient clay figure 20,000 years ago. It feels like some of you are, your solar or your sacral chakra, your creative center is literally very creative. And again, mystery charge, mystery, that's all about the moon, right? It's like, it's almost like you're in a mystery school, or you're being initiated into a mystery school, whether it's an actual school itself or the universe is initiating you into it, and you're learning all of these like ancient truths and ancient rituals and things like that, like ancient information that has been around for a long time, and now you are actually engaging in it. Fun. Good job, guys. This is the best one so far. Yeah, there's some stuff to move through, but like, seems like you guys know what you're doing, and you're doing well. So let's get a closing message for you, which is going to be, what animal spirit should you embody right now? Fox, adaptability and reactivity. Yeah, fox, just like Delphi or Braxian, right? The fox energy, which is that magician. You are meant to be the magician right now, to work your magic. And the magician, you know, I didn't mention this about the magician, but the magician has the pentacle, the sword, the wand, and the cup, right? For all the four elements, it knows how to utilize the elements. It knows how to utilize the elements and alchemize them. That's part of snake spirit too, of understanding alchemy, and that's Scorpius and Ophiuchus. They go together in order to heal, and that's where all the hidden and secret information is within the zodiac, is Scorpius and Ophiuchus. That's the witchy magic part of the zodiac, and it feels like you are meant to be like this Braxian, which it's interesting, it's not Delphox. I think that might be the queen of wands in this deck, actually. But it's like, you are meant to do this magic. You are meant to engage in this kind of magic, this ancient magic, I must say. And with adaptability, it feels like you're going to be able to adapt and kind of go through whatever comes your way. Again, it feels like some of these things that are happening in the shadow are like different situations, but it feels like you're going to be able to very easily adapt and like get through whatever it is. Excuse me. And with the gas, the wheezing, the burping, it's coming up, you guys. So be mindful of what you're eating. Make sure it doesn't have, you know, toxic stuff in it. And reactivity. This reactivity, foxes are very aware of their environment. They are very receptive, and they know how to react to things. But I'm also hearing like to make sure you are tempering your spirit so that the way you are reacting to everything is not initially to just do some baneful magic towards them, okay? Like, yes, you can, you know, magic won't solve all your problems. It can solve a lot of them, but sometimes wisdom is knowing when to not use magic to engage with certain things, okay? Especially if it's someone that you are, that your shadow is like merged with, right? Okay? So thank you so much, pile number 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know in the comments what you thoughts. about it and how it resonated. All right, pile number 5, bug type. All right, so again, bug type, if you are a bug type trainer, or if something's been bugging you, I'm hearing, if something's been bothering you, or if you work with bugs, you work with insects, you relate to insect spirits in general. If you've been seeing a lot of bugs, obviously the type of bug that keeps visiting you or insect can tell you a lot about the energy of what's happening, or if you're going through some sort of metamorphosis. All right, let's get a tarot card. I'm feeling like to do it the opposite way. Okay, that's what it's saying. All right, let's see what wants to come out. 2 of them. Oh, do you see that spin? There's something about like opposite is what I'm hearing. Okay. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune upright. Yes. Okay, so you were having like really bad luck, and now it's the opposite. Now the Wheel of Fortune is moving forward for you. Good things are happening. It's kind of like one after the other, good things happen. Ooh, I love this for you guys. Wheel of Fortune. And then coming out stuck. Oh, yes, we have the 10 of Cups. That's awesome. Okay. I told pile number 4 that they had the best reading. I'm getting goosebumps. You guys might actually have the best reading of them all, because this is awesome. Wheel of Fortune is that things are moving forward in your favor. Fortune is yours. And the thing about the Wheel of Fortune, the most fortunate thing about it is that things are moving forward. So again, it feels like you may have been stuck in a rut for a while, and maybe that's why things were bugging you. It's like you felt stuck, things weren't going your way, things weren't happening the way that you wanted to. And now the Wheel of Fortune's in your favor, and it's going to be working exactly the way you want it to. And the 10 of Cups is arguably one of, or if not the best card of the deck, because it represents having emotional fulfillment within, emotional fulfillment in your family, in your community. Like, this is really good emotional energy where you're emotionally fulfilled and everyone else around you is emotionally fulfilled. If you've been trying to build a community, it's here. Okay, it's here. With the Wheel of Fortune too, I was really, it's interesting. We have the Pokemon that they have. Okay, so it looks like for Taurus, they have Milk Tank, which is all about nourishment and mothering energy. For Leo, they have Lit Leo, which feels like your fire is ignited. We have Pidgeot as our Aquarius Fulmahot energy. So it kind of feels, and it's reading, they're all reading a book actually. Interesting. You might be reading books again, I'm hearing. Pidgeot, I'm hearing you're soaring higher than you have before, and you're gonna go higher than you ever have before. And with Roserade as the Scorpius emanation of fixed water, it feels like you're understanding how to work with poisons, how to transmute them into medicines. Wow, you guys are doing a lot. Awesome. And then here we have, oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so we have Zoroark with 9 tails, and like, look, they look like lovers, right? So I feel like your inner union of masculine and feminine is really healthy, and you may be even in or about to come into a really healthy partnership with someone. And then we have the 2 little Vulpix, and one is shiny. Again, it feels like your luck is up. Like, even if you're a shiny hunter, your shiny luck is up. Like, things are going good for you, and it feels like it just started. Like, so many more things are going well for you. All right, what wants to come? Okay, these want to come out in the light, and then we have one in the shadow. All right, so we have Noibat using Flap and Blitzel using Rear Kick. So here we have the emphasis of Bat Spirit, called the Soundwave Pokemon. So it feels like there are some things that you have been listening to that were vampiric of the past. And with Rear Kick, it feels like it's something from the past that was kind of kicking your butt. Again, it emphasizes all the ish that you just went through, that it really wasn't great. You may have dealt with a vampire, someone who was taking from you, someone who was draining you in some sort of way. But with Flap, again, it feels like you have your wings now, and again, you're going to fly higher than you ever have before. It says Noibat can change the frequency of its sound waves at will, and it generates ultrasonic waves up to 200,000 hertz. Yeah, you may have gone through 200,000 hertz. You know, like, things really hurt, and I feel that. And it's talking about being able to change the frequency of its sound waves. So it feels like you may be listening to different things now. You may be listening to different music or frequencies or reading different things. Like, your frequency has shifted. Whatever you just did that changed things your frequency has changed, and now the Wheel of Fortune is in your favor. And we even saw it was spinning, spinning, spinning. So it feels like you really went through it, but now it's in your favor. And, you know, let's focus on that because that's what's important. And then again, Blitzel, electrified Pokemon, rear kick. Yeah, something from the past that kicked you in the dupa. You know, it really, I'm hearing it kicked you while you were down. Oof, I'm so sorry that happened. But again, things are better now, you know. And it is a reverse hollow. And we see this, that there's like a silo here and the electrified Pokemon. So the electrified, whatever this happened, it may have really influenced your nervous calm system where your electrical system was very dysregulated. It says its main shines when it discharges electricity. They use the frequency and rhythm of these flashes to communicate. Again, this is talking about the frequency of sound waves. This is talking about its light and the frequency and rhythm. Like literally your light body has changed. The frequency, the energy that you're at is completely different now. And now the Wheel of Fortune's in your favor. This is awesome. Okay. In the shadow, we have Volbeat using Quick Sign. So it's interesting because in the shadow it's Volbeat, which is like a lightning bug type energy. So this is about, you know, being able to show your light when things are dark out. And it is also a bug. So maybe you've been seeing a lot of lightning bugs lately, or you want to help lightning bugs because, you know, the way people take care of their lawns are really diminishing the population where now they are an endangered species. We don't want that, do we? No, we don't. All right. So Volbeat, Quick Sign. And, you know, even if you want a sign, say like, show me a lightning bug to show, you know, that things are getting better, right? That the Wheel of Fortune's in my favor, and just see what happens, right? And it says it flashes the light on its rear to communicate with other Volbeat. It loves the sweet aroma given off by Illumise. Yeah, it's talking about using the light on its rear to communicate. Again, your light body, the way that you are communicating, your frequency shift is, you know, it's showing your true light and your light that is even in the shadow. Like your own shadow has been integrated that you're able to help guide people and you're helping. And it's even talking about the beat. Like some of you might be musicians or something like that, or work with frequency or sound, even, you know, your voice sort of thing. And it loves the sweet aroma given off by Illumise. So Volbeat and Illumise, they are meant to be partnered together. And that's kind of what it feels like here with 10 of Cups even. Like it feels like you're going to find a divine counterpart or at least a partnership that is really going to bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment. Like this is a great reading. You guys, I think, got the best. I said it for pile number 4, but honestly, now I think it's pile number 5. You guys were doing so, wow. Like, this is so good. Yeah. All right. And it feels like it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. Okay. It feels like this person's coming in quickly. It feels like maybe not during eclipse season, but like right after. Okay. But obviously, this is a timeless message. So if you see this after, it could be right around the corner of whatever. All right. Going right to the 10 of Cups and Volbeat here in the shadow. So I feel like this has to do with the shadow. The animal you are meant to embody is, yes, the owl. The owl can see through the dark, the shadow, the light in the shadow. That is one of your specialties. And that's why the Wheel of Fortune is moving in your favor now because you're showing your light in that shadow. And vision and silence. Very interesting. So vision, right? Vision, they can see at night. They have the vision. Even if things are unclear about the future or, you know, a period of darkness or whatever it is, being able to see and also see 360 degrees, which is exactly, you know, the wheel. The wheel spins 360 degrees and it feels like for a while, like I'm feeling like 2019, 2020, things were really going in your favor. The Wheel of Fortune was upright and then you went through it and someone came in and caused your Wheel of Fortune to go in reverse, likely a vampire that was just siphoning your energy. And now you're out of that, and now the Wheel of Fortune is moving. Again, it feels like you did a whole 360. Like you literally went through it. You went through it, and I feel that. And silence. Silence. Very interesting. So And again, there's a lot, you know, even bats. Bat spirit is all about, right, nocturnal. There's a lot of nocturnal energy here. And even Blitzel, it looks like it's at night here. If you can see this imagery. Looks like it's at night. So, yeah. There's a lot of interesting energy. And it feels like the silence, right? At nighttime, things get a lot quieter, so it's easier to see things. And some of you may be working more at night or doing things at night. And it feels like you also have learned like when not to say something. Like you don't feel like you're pressured to just talk, right? Or pressured to just say anything. You know when to be quiet. And I will take that as my message to end the reading there. Thank you so much, pile number 5. This was amazing. And leave me a comment and let me know how this resonated. I really enjoyed this reading. This is great energy. Okay. And thank you so much for watching. Send you lots of love. Mwah.